Lefty podcast. Onora Boys in the building, brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure you do so.
Responsibly.
Do you know what time it is? Tell me, do you know? Do you know what time it is? Tell me, do you know? Do you know what time it is? Tell me, do you know? Do you know what time it is? Swizzy, hey, hey, I said, come on, hey, hey, I said, come on, hey, hey, I said, come on, hey, 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 talk. You getting money, homie? Show me if it's like that.
Wednesday night, double dip, Lucky Lefty, Three's Company. Coming up about 30 to 45 minutes with our boy Ken Gibbs. We got a lot to get to left. Gonna hear from Marcus Freeman, talk about what to expect from the spring game. Bring it back. Hump day. Let's get it. What's up,
sir.
LL Nation? Hope you guys had a great Wednesday, man. Neat preview April, man. Double dips each and every Wednesday. Lucky Lefty podcast and Three's Company, what I got Ken Gibbs. Locked on ACC, locked on college football. Before we get to him, we're going to talk about some Marcus Freeman laughing. Yo, let me tell you something. Apple Podcast, Spotify, CFB Nation, YouTube, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share, hit the thumbs up, and then hit the notification bell. So when we go live, I post a video, you will know. Blue and Gold game coming up. We'll talk about that. Got some recruits to look at. Wide receiver recruits. Duke Hines.
Yeah.
Ooh, you talk about some good film.
Talk about some good film. I like that.
Man, I'm loving it. On top of that, left, you know, the worst thing to watch at the scrimmage Saturday was the punting. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. Wasn't being rushed, and really wasn't a windy day. So when Bryce McPherson jumped in the transfer portal, I was like, did they ask him to, or did he do it on his own? It kind of begs the question, because I meant to ask you and talk about it a little bit, like, yo, Marty Biaggi might have some issues, bro. Because the punting was not good. A mid 39-yard field goal by your place kicker that you got to transfer in. With all the good we saw on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, I meant to bring it up, but I didn't get a chance to. It should be interesting. Hopefully they go and jump in the portal. We have a defensive back come to visit tomorrow, transferred from Rice. They're looking for him to play a little nickel, a little cornerback. Shout out to C. Lou, Clarence Lewis, who committed to Syracuse.
Yeah, good for
man.
him.
Good for you, man. It's a good look. Of course, the Florida State defensive back coach is the new head coach at Syracuse.
Yep.
So that could end up being a very good look. And we hope C. Lou ends up getting to the league, man.
Hey, you still got that Irish patch on you, man, and you played a lot of football so far. And, hopefully you go and get better. I mean, that's really what the whole goal is, get some film, get a chance to get out there.
Did you even care about the blue and gold game, bro?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, I always use it as a measurement to where I was compared to other quarterbacks, just because, it's competition at the end of the day, but also a good way to leave an impression going into fall camp.
It's very interesting that you say that, man, because I think a lot of people say, man, what can you pull from a blue and gold? So what should people be looking for, right? What you're not worried about the running backs. You're not worried about certain wide receivers. What should you be looking for in a game like that? Should it be more of a micro or macro look? Should you be more focused on the units or the defense side of the ball, the offense side of the ball, or are you looking at specific plays on Saturday?
I just want to see the efficiency. You know, these are day one install type of plays, things that they've been working on, the basics, and who can get the basics the best. I think that's a good indication of who's going to be consistent during the season, because if you can get the details and the basics down, where when we're running plays that are maybe simple to everybody reading it, but you can run at a high level and get open or block the right technique or run and still get there, then that's going to give you a good impression of who's going to make an impact in the season, who's going to be your potential stars that come out, who's the guys that you need to take notice for, guys that you haven't seen, who flashes. You know, you're looking for new guys and newcomers, and a team that, you know, at the end of the day is still having a first-time quarterback starter full-time at Notre Dame, but also who are the young guys? Because usually the young guys will change a little bit having the 4 games allowed, but still the young guys you want to see coming in, Aeneas Williams, you know, your Cam Williams, the guys that are going to be out there a good chunk of the end of it. Those are the time to see, okay, who should I got to pay attention to in the program when the first game comes in.
It should be interesting, love. It should be interesting. I've never watched. I was talking to people. They're like, "Are you going to be in the press box?" I was like, "No, I'm a man of the people."
That's right.
I'm a man of the people. I sit with the people.
That's right.
So if you're going to be at the game, you see your boy SD, get at me. Holler at me. I'm a man of the people, man.
That's right.
I've had the pleasure to sit next to one of the grandest gentlemen I've ever met in my time, him and his daughter, you know, the last 2 games. And, man, let me tell you, it is I hope I sit next to him again this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He has been fantastic for me. You know, you sit next to somebody and they have a way of asking you something
without asking you directly.
Yeah. They don't want to come across like they're asking you for inside information, but they have a way of asking, "Man, who was that? Who was that kid? I mean, yeah, that kid. Isn't that the kid that did this, or didn't he come from there?
Yeah.
What do you think about him?" Like,
yeah,
come on, man. Come on, man. You trying to squeeze me for information?
That's right.
Wisely. But it's a joy. Let's get to it, Left, man. Let's hear from Marcus Freeman. We had a couple of things that we heard from him on the way out from Monday's show. But he talked about Al Golden and good defense and what he's looking for.
Year 3, right? It's the same thing I said to you guys last year. After year 2, it's, you know, when you go into year 3 now with pretty much between Golden, Mickens, Al Washington being consistent in terms of the voices in those rooms, year 3 of the same scheme. Like it's an NFL pro-style defense. There's a lot of defense. And year 1, we couldn't perform at the pace, at the level that he wanted. Right? And that's always the challenge. How do you get these athletes to play fastest? Like, that's the challenge of a coach. It's not to be so complicated that you're trying to confuse the opponents. Like, okay, how can I get these people to understand what I want and play fastest? Well, it's year 3 of the pretty much. Now, we have enhances, but pretty much of the same scheme with a lot of the veterans coming back. Whereas offense, it's practice 11 of a new scheme, right? And so they're going to be ahead. All right, defensively, because a lot of returning players, year 3, than the offense, but the offense has done some really good things. And what you'll see from the offense side is that they're going to get every look imaginable, right? They're not playing against a Marcus Freeman defense that you're going to see a couple of different things. You know, you're going to see everything with Al Golden, and it's gonna help them improve. Like, if they can understand it, which I know they do, the coaches do. Like, this is really good for you. What you're seeing defensively, this is really good for you. You're going against one of the best in the country, right? This is going to be one of the best defenses in the country, and that's what our offense is going against every day. But at the end of the day, that's going to make you better. Right? We talk about all the time these bloody wounds. Like, this is going to make them better. You know, I know it might be frustrating today. You don't win the blue jerseys, and, you know, man, there's sometimes that the defense presents some challenges. But at the end of the day, this is going to make our offense and team better.
Very insightful from Marcus Freeman. Just talking about year 3 left. What is the pressure of year 3 across the board for this entire program?
Well, year 3 is the launching point. Year 3 traditionally is that aha moment when you realize that this is the direction that we're going in, and that consistency or dynasty builder. Marcus Freeman has had a hard 3 years, but it's been a good 3 years at the same time because we're starting to see the fruits of the labor year, the crossroads in the fork in the road, and it's coming down to what path are we gonna take? Because year 3, you got the guys recruited that you've been working hard for in that position to take over the team. You played enough games to be in a position where you're ready to take on the challenges that you're looking to really advance this program from, but also because of the schedule. I mean, this schedule is primed for a year 3 program to take that launching point to the stratosphere because of where we are as a team, especially in the volatile college football realm and world that we live in today, where you're going to have a hard time finding consistency and longevity with guys jumping around, coaching staffs as well as players. So to have a 2 or 3 year starter in a certain position like a Ben Morrison, like a Xavier Watts, like your O line and your defensive uh, front is going to be real interesting to see just that maturation process. Marcus Freeman gets to unleash to the world what a true, thorough program it will look like in replacing an Alabama that, in my opinion, isn't the same. Somebody's got to fill that spot next to Georgia, and I think we're primed to do that.
Yeah, year 3 traditionally for Notre Dame coaches has been a launching point for their programs and their careers. You talk about making national championships, winning national championships. Man, a laundry list of coaches at Notre Dame have been very successful in year 3. Marcus Freeman looking to do the same thing with the 2024 rendition of the Fighting Irish. Another thing he talked about, how year 3 of the defense, how much faster they're playing and how everything was about getting them to play faster. We've already talked about that they're just faster and more athletic from a talent standpoint. But when you can play faster mentally on top of the physical attributes, this defense, once they get reps, I would say about 3-4 games under their belt, they have a chance, really, especially at the linebacker position, to be really special.
Really special. Marcus Freeman is most proud of that, in my opinion, because look at the recruiting. Look at how he's put that room together as succinctly as he has, and how he has put the support around that position, getting a fiery guy like Max Bullock, having himself as a head coach be influential in that position, but also Al Golden running the defense in a lot of ways through that linebacker position. So a lot of hands are in the pot over there, and hopefully it's a potluck and they can pull out everything, something that we've been cooking up this long.
Is there anyone in Notre Dame history that you haven't met you still feel like, man, I can't wait to meet this person?
Say that again?
Is there anyone connected to Notre Dame that you haven't met? Former player, former coach that you've yet to meet that you feel like, man, I hope I get an opportunity to meet this person, chop it up with.
Oh man, honestly, I've met so many of that Notre Dame quote unquote legacy, and it's man, I would probably say because I've met just about everybody I would want to meet. Probably Joe Montana. I think that'll be somebody I probably gotta say what's up to at some point. I feel like I've seen a lot of the quarterback greats that have been through Notre Dame, and obviously Joe's the most accredited over a career over time, but it would be cool to at least get to say what's up to him.
Once again, Lucky Lefty Podcast, Shaun Davis, Malik Zaire. We just heard from Marcus Freeman talking about year 3 under Al Golden. And he also talked about the young linebackers and what he likes from them.
I think it's similar to how we utilized Maris last year, right? As being a backer on first and second down, and at the end of the day, on third down, if it's a passing situation, you want to get your best 4 pass rushers on the field, no matter what position they are on first and second down. And so Kingston and Snead have both shown the ability to be able to rush the passer from the line of scrimmage. And, Jalen did it last year, but Kingston has shown the ability to do that. So is he one of the top 4? That's to be determined, but he's had a heck of a spring. He's done a really good job just from the moment he's gotten here to where he's at now, and he's gonna help us this year.
Sounds pretty good, man.
Yeah, I think Marcus Freeman knows that pressure is gonna come from that linebacker position and guys that can be explosive enough to the ball. He wants that to be on the field, and he knows that he has the talent this year, young and experienced, to go out there and do it.
Do you think Coach Freeman, you talked about the launching point, do you think he feels the pressure of that?
No, I think he's, if anything, more excited. I think the pressure to get out of the games where he lost after Ohio State and after Marshall and after that Stanford game, those are pressure because you got to continue to win when everybody's expecting you to lose.
Once again, these young, they go 60. I saw 6 playmakers at linebacker. 6. And I mean, I include Jack Kaiser in that, but if I take Jack Kaiser out, then I'm putting the older Kia brother in there as well, because he flashed and made plays on Saturday. So it is, man, it is absolutely amazing. He was asked about the offensive line. Offensive line is a position I think a lot of people have a lot of questions, not from a talent standpoint, but just from overall game experience. And then when you lose 2 NFL tackles as well, you have some concern. But Notre Dame, this is what they do. That O-line, Marcus Freeman, what's your thoughts on the O-line?
We've always said we're O-line, D-line driven program. So what do you want to see? I want to see them to be able to run the ball, be able to protect the quarterback, and execute their job at a high level. There's a couple competitions, right? You got a competition at right tackle. Rocco is trying to get back to being 100%. So at some point when he's 100%, you're going to have a competition with him and somewhere in the inside. And Jagasol has been pretty much the one at the left tackle. So you're trying to create competition, but understanding as an offensive line unit, you need that consistency in those 5 guys. So I'm trying to get them both, but listen, I want to see them be able to run and pass the ball.
Look, the strength of this offensive line early on is probably going to be the running game, Left.
Oh, absolutely. That's the best. That's easier to do than to be succinct in blocking all type of fronts and blitzes and this, that, and the fourth. But if you could just use your pure physicality, right, to just impose instead of take on a blow, I think that's the best place to start for a young offensive line.
And it was great to hear Marcus Freeman give a lot of love to the running backs and their ability to pick up blitzes in the scrimmage. That was something that we talked about. You go back to the first game against Navy, it seemed like they had struggles. Estimate had struggles picking up blitzes. Game 1 against Navy last year, and that trend continued throughout the season. But they did a great job Saturday, because I'm telling you, Al Golden was bringing the heat from play 1. He was bringing it all day long. And they stood up pretty well.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to see. Like Marcus Freeman said, this is a top 10 defense in the country. So your learning curve is a lot higher, especially going against a blitz defense that a guy that likes to bring pressure. You're seeing just about everything you're going to see during the season in practice every day. So the learning curve for our offensive line in that regards, in terms of experience, is going to be very beneficial for them going into a game 1 situation where Mike Elko is very similar and bringing a lot of pressure.
Lucky Lefty podcast. He was impressed by a lot of young players, but he also had something to say about the quarterback rotation. Check it out.
I don't think it's hard to gauge. It's are you doing your job or not, right? Like, the biggest thing I try to challenge the quarterbacks with is that you can't get comfortable in the red jerseys, right? And you've been used for 11 practices, this is practice 11, but for 10 practices of not being touched. I'm going to try to call sacks when I think it's truly a sack. I mean, I know it's never perfect, right? And but I did feel some edge pressure. I don't know if they would have been sacks. I would think the quarterback steps up and get the ball out of his hands. But that's the double-edged sword. Do you live them up, or do you keep them red? And I want to keep them protected and make sure that we're keeping our quarterbacks healthy. But I did feel some pressure. But a lot of times, man, as you really look at if you can get those defensive guys as an offensive mindset, get those defensive guys to run behind the quarterback, that quarterback's going to step up and deliver the ball. So it'll be interesting as we go back and look at the film. But it doesn't matter who's at quarterback as much as, hey, do the tackles, whoever's in there, execute and do their job? Is the quarterback able to step up and get rid of the ball?
Marcus Freeman talking about quarterback, what he's expecting from them. Just do your job. We talked about that. We point out the difference between the disappointment in the turnovers from Steve Angeli and then the turnover that Kenny Mitchell had, and how they totally were different. Just totally different. And like, with Kenny, all right, miscommunication. We can clean that up. We can coach that. Steve, my man, you're driving the ball down the field. Similar to what we saw with Tyler Buckner. Tyler Buckner moving the ball, go back to the Gator Bowl against South Carolina. Moving the ball, red zone, interception. Move the ball, red zone, interception. You can't have that. You can't have that. You're talking about 14 other points that should have been. The Gator Bowl should have been over. Shouldn't have come down to the last drive. But because of turnovers from the quarterback, you kept the other team in the game. And absolutely, as good as the defense did play, the offense had an opportunity to win that scrimmage if you didn't give the 14 points to the defense. So that goes to what I said, the talent, the opportunities, the playmakers that are there on the offensive side of the ball. But that offensive line, specifically at the tackle situation, young tackles are going to have to hold up. They don't have to dominate right now. Give themselves time. And the fan base has to give them grace. All they have to do is hold up, compete, and give opportunities with these big-time playmakers on the outside and the quarterbacks that you have behind center. Give them opportunity. Give them 5 to 10 opportunities. You're going to have – when's the last time you heard Notre Dame taking 5 to 10 shots in a game left? Because I think that might end up being the norm this year, where you see a Notre Dame offense take 5 to 10 shots on big plays. That, my friends, could be the trend that we end up seeing from the Notre Dame offense. They ran 83 plays on Saturday, probably end up running 80 to 85, maybe even more than that on average during the season. That type of tempo not only helps out the defense because it prepares your defense for the regular season and big-time teams in the playoffs, but it also wears other teams down. It wears other teams down. And now we used to beg the offensive line to wear teams down, right? Marcus Freeman said this is a program built in the trenches, right? But for the longest in big games, we've asked the offensive line to wear teams down.
That's right.
Take over in the fourth quarter. Now we have another way, or we have multiple ways to be able to wear on teams and get them out the box. Forget the fourth quarter. Let's get them out the box second, third quarter.
Yeah, get them out the way early.
Yeah. Put them in the grave. Fourth quarter, we should be putting dirt on top of them.
Absolutely. And that's the expectation. That's where the mindset of surviving games and winning games goes into. They don't want to see us. They're not going to want to see us because the amount of pressure we're putting out there. We're a team that wants to smoke this year, and I think we're built for it, not only on a toughness level, but on a depth level. And we can go the distance this year, I believe it.
So hopefully young tackles hold up. Jagasaw, Tosh Baker, Emil Wagner. You get Garby Lambert coming in. Ty Chan has moved out to the outside as well. Sullivan Apter is working on the inside. You got Billy Shroud working on the inside. Coogan, he struggled a little bit in the scrimmage. and Rocco's coming back from injury. So look, Ashton Craig is holding that center position down
That's right.
solidly. Marcus Freeman talked about being impressed.
CJ's been great. Coming in the winter, mature, really understands offensive concepts, but defensive football. Smart guy, makes great decisions, and so been really impressed with him at quarterback. Mike has come in and really done a great job. Like, he's performed at a high level. Is even getting some reps with the ones at time. Now we have a couple injuries, but he's gonna do some things for us this year. I really like where he's at and where he's progressing to. And then Boubacar just, I keep telling him, he just keeps showing up. He just keeps showing up, and that isn't against just the threes, the two. He's showing up against the ones, and so that's what you want to see, right? And that depth, that competition, and those guys that can step up and make plays. But all three of those guys have done some really positive things, along with some others.
Yo, he's impressed by the young guys. I told you, Boubacar Traore, the last 3 series of the scrimmage, left. He would go to the left end, make a play. He would switch sides and make a play. It was like, when you get a talent like that, able to come off the edge both sides and you can move them around, that can definitely be a big-time weapon. Long distance, third downs, passing situations. You're talking about him being on the second group of defensive linemen. You have to like that. We said the defensive line had to step up this year, especially in terms of not just pressures, but sacks and tackles for loss.
Yeah, because that's what all people are caring about. I think that being able to be versatile like we are on the defensive line, but also having that development stage too. Al Washington can take credit for that, guys being ready to play. Even though their first year they may not be talked about much, still coming out with that fire and a second opportunity and still making it happen. We heard a lot about Jason Onye last year this time, making plays, being unstoppable at times. Now can Boubacar Traore take that into the season, do the same thing?
I think he can. I absolutely think he can. And the fact that he gets, maybe the Dallas Turner treatment, right?
Yeah.
Where he flashes and then you find spots. I would much rather for Boubacar Traore and Jason Onye to start really coming on the closer it gets to November and into the playoffs.
That's right.
I don't want them to flash early and then you're looking for them in clutch time or crunch time down the road late in the season. It's like, yo, what happened to these guys? What happened to the promise they had or the promise they showed in the spring? Just keep it coming.
Yeah.
Keep it coming. And keep these guys in the front 4 fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Keep them fresh, man. Keep Riley Mills and Howard Cross fresh.
That's right.
Keep them fresh. We need them in November to be extremely fresh. That was one of the big things that Michigan was able to do. The fact that they were able to rotate a lot of players on that defensive line. They have a dominant defensive line, but their dominant front 4 or the first 4 were fresh going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then the youngsters, because they got the opportunity early, they progressed and they were ready for the big time as well. And you're hoping to see the same type of progression 1 through 3 as far as units on the defensive line, all the way down to the youngsters, Brennan Vernon, Devin Houston, guys like that. You want to see that. Armel Mookum, from all of those guys when it comes to November and going into the playoffs.
That's right. And that's what's going to be important, is that you win in late this season when you have depth, because of that reason of keeping those starters with their legs under them late in the year. A lot of teams aren't as depth heavy, so you see later in the season they kind of fall off, let up things that they usually wouldn't because the season wears on you. But to have a rotation of 3 with some young guys mixed in is something that you're going to be built off of, because it's going to help that secondary unit and also those young linebackers keep those guys up off of them so they can be able to make plays and disrupt the offense on the other side.
You know what's crazy, Left? I just realized that I had the ticker asking for prayer. And for anyone that needed prayer, they could call the prayer line. Hey, I'm sorry, man. Everybody needs prayer, right, Left?
That's right.
I just switched it to the Lucky Lucky podcast ticker. 30 minutes into the show. I'm sorry the banner was going on, but I'm not sorry. Maybe someone out there needed prayer. and they saw the phone number. They could call to get prayer 24 hours a day, man.
That's right.
We have people on call, ready to pray for you. That's what we do. Now, subscribe to Lucky Lefty Podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, CFB Nation. Follow us at Lucky Lefty Pod on Twitter and Instagram, and at patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. Get with us. Let's hear one more thing. We should have our guy Ken Gibbs join us shortly. One more thing from head coach Marcus Freeman, a very happy head coach, and he talked about the frustration that he has for Riley Leonard, but yet and still Riley Leonard and his desire to stay locked in mentally.
Yeah, that's just a reflection of who he is. This was his idea, and he was going to challenge himself to have 100% focus on every rep. So he had the headset on. He knew every call that was going in, and he went and stepped through every single one. And so that's who he's been. He's actually practicing a little bit more now, doing some 7-on-7, some other things. And so, but today we didn't want to let him go. And so for him to get work like that, it just is a reflection of who he is. That's going to make him better. And that was my challenge as a head coach to him, is that, hey, what can you do? Although you're physically not practicing on Saturday, what can you do to get better? And he showed today a chance to do that.
Man, let me tell you something. I did watch him on Saturday, and it was good to see him standing behind the guys. So literally, he took every rep of every snap. So it didn't matter which quarterback was actually taking the live rep. Riley Leonard was standing behind him, taking the snap and looking at the field and scanning the field. So that's what Marcus Freeman is speaking of, the mental reps he was taking with every snap. Of course, timing, things of that nature. He said it himself last week. Those are things that he's going to have to keep up with and get up with guys in the off season, going into the summer before the fall camp starts, to make sure he goes to fall camp with some sense of timing with new receivers like Chris Mitchell, the freshman Cam Williams, Logan Sadate, Michael Gilbert, and also Bo Collins, who didn't even participate. He can't participate until, I believe, the end of the semester. Then I think he can start really working out with the team. But
yeah, I mean, it's the thing too is that, it's all about health with him. And at the end of the day, it's nothing like taking that physical rep. As much as he's doing the mental rep, yeah, that's the best you can do. That's good. You're taking the reps that you can, but that's also not his game either. So, he's been doing the same thing up until the injury this whole time. I don't expect him to be this totally different quarterback coming off an injury. So I think that his biggest help is for him to be healthy. And so you're putting a lot of pressure on that ankle now. And if you can, that's great. But if this is one of those things where you're not going to be mentally there until you get those live bullets, until somebody fall on your ankle or somebody hits you wrong and you get up and be able to shake it off. For me, I was fortunate enough to have it happen in practice where I was like, okay, now I'm all right. You know what I mean? I'm good. So, and hopefully he has that same thing. But physical is one thing, mental is a whole different aspect, especially when that's the strength of your game.
And once again, Marcus Freeman, before we bring in, I got Ken Gibbs. He said he's still looking for improvements, and I loved everything he said. Even after everyone was pretty much impressed by what they saw in the scrimmage on Saturday, Marcus Freeman laid it down. I'm not satisfied.
Over. It's never a finished product. What you're trying to do is build this group of coaches and talented individuals to make sure when we play game one, we're ready to perform, right? So we have to be more consistent on both sides of the ball at doing our jobs, at making plays on offense, making plays on defense. Our special teams has to get improved. Like, there's not just one area where we need to improve. We need to improve in everything. There's everything, right? But that's the mindset of this program, right? We're not satisfied. You're never satisfied. You're building this group so that when you play these 12 guaranteed opportunities, you are performing at maximum capacity. And in order to do that, you got to have a never satisfied mindset. And I think that's what everybody in this program has has to have.
Never satisfied.
Yeah, definitely never satisfied. You know, that whole continue to get better each day. I think it's hard to even judge until you get against somebody else before you can start placing yourself in that mind frame of, okay, where do we lay as a team? Because that's what you want to answer each and every year, which I don't necessarily like too much about what Marcus Freeman said, never satisfied. Because at some point you got to know, what's the identity of your team? Do you know how great your team is, what the strengths and weaknesses are, if you always saying never satisfied? So, yeah, I think it's important to say, until we get on the ground against somebody else, right now we're just looking to get better. But at some point, Marcus Freeman towards the end of the season got to be like, listen, this is who we are. This is our strengths, our weaknesses, and this is how we get better.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. You know what's coming up next after the break. Yeah. Three's Company, baby. 2 for 1, month of April. Man, we're giving you the preview of what it's going to be like each and every Wednesday right here. Lucky Lefty Podcast, Three's Company. We got some topics for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We got some topics for you tonight. Let me tell you something. That dude down there in Miami, he's relentless. Oh, boy, with that mansion, that $50 million mansion, he's relentless. He's relentless, boy. He's relentless. We're going to talk about it tonight. And, oh, man, all of this hubbub going around about equal pay in the WNBA. We're going to get into that as well. And I think maybe they're a few years too early. That's a few years too early considering the buyout that just took place not too long ago when things were about to literally fold. We'll get into it. I'm sure we have both sides of that conversation covered, man. Lucky Lefty Podcast, Three's Company. I got Ken Gibbs, the original Lucky Lefty himself, MALIK, ZAIRE, Sean Davis in the place to be, man. We'll be right back.
What's up, family? The merch shop is finally here. Lucky Lefty Network merch shop. We got it all. From the shirts to the hoodies to the hats to the nitty gritties. Come here right now. Shop with us. Come get the swag because you know, if anything else, we spin it different. You see the gritty. You see how we get down. It's elite.
I want you to ride. Change positions. Stroke it, baby. Stroke it. I think your truth is something
Three's Company,
just
back at it. The chocolate trio, baby. Here comes your part, love.
Who's spinning the tunes tonight? Who the DJ? Who the DJ?
Our tunes on a daily basis are from DJ Jay Dilla, the official DJ of the Chicago Bears. He has Soldier Field lit each and every home game, man.
Let me tell you something. Jay, he put his big toe in that thing now. He put his whole foot in there. I can taste some there a little bit.
Jay Dilla is actually going to be a guest with us next week.
There we go.
He said he's coming on the pod next week, man, to talk about what it's like. Jay Dilla DJ my 30th at Timothy O'Toole's downtown Chicago. He DJ'd another one. Man, this dude flies. He's done parties for NBA players, NFL players. He used to do the Pro Bowl back in the day.
Well, you know, he got to be a heck of a DJ to be DJing for the Chicago Bears. You got to do something to entertain those fans. The football ain't doing it as of late. The football ain't doing it. You know, you got to do something to get them folks involved. You know, no offense. You know.
Left, you see how they act after one season?
Oh,
Hey,
one season of success, dude.
Oh man,
All of a sudden,
they're not used to it. They're not used to it.
hey, say what you want. But last time I checked, that NFC champ got defending next to it right now. It got defending next to it.
he came with the Nifty. Last time that I checked.
That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Hey, this is
That's right.
the truth, baby.
So we start off this topic because I'll be interested in seeing what you guys think. Jontay Porter, brother of Michael Porter, Toronto Raptors, was given a lifetime ban by Adam Silver and the NBA fellas for using or betting prop bets on NBA games that he played in. Now, the plan was smooth because he knew he was going to be used sparingly in games, and he knew he could find a way to always hit the under. Unfortunately, he was really dumb with the money trick. Now, and see, this is something people don't realize. Yes, once these professional leagues got in bed, they wanted to get in bed for financial reasons with all of these betting platforms, but it also gave them another connection to be able to make sure that they can watch their own athletes as well. Because the algorithm is going to give you away if you're doing something stupid. MLB just couldn't get rid of Shohei. He makes too much money. He's too important to MLB. If they had really done an investigation, Shohei Ohtani would have been up out of here, or should have been up out of here.
Hey, listen, all I got to say about Ohtani is this. He's a $100 million man, and they gave him a 97% backloaded contract to avoid taxes. You don't know what the tax code going to look like in 5 years, let alone 10 to 15. Baby, I know an addict when I see one. Y'all controlling his money because you know if you put that whole 70 mil in there, 30 of it going to FanDuel tomorrow. You know what I mean? And, listen, all I'm saying is this. There ain't nobody go down except the interpreter. So the accountant who did your taxes, he ain't going down? He didn't see no discrepancy? I know what you are, Shohei. I know what you are. You ain't got to tell me. I know what you are, brother.
So, Jontay, man, let me ask you a question, man. Left, do you feel good by this? Because Michael Porter is not going to have his head in the game, right, for this upcoming series. So you're excited, right?
Look, LeBron James is gonna be all right, man. We're not talking about
he ain't gonna be all right.
The Nuggets, guess who's been playing better? D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell's been a true point guard these last couple of games and these last couple of months. And he's gonna turn it on when we meet.
Jamal Murray is not CJ McCollum, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to throw dirt.
We haven't talked about Jamal Murray all year.
You will starting in the playoffs.
We're confident, that the team chemistry is where it's supposed to be. We got LeBron James and they don't. So
you can't even trust D'Angelo Russell in the room with his teammates, bro. You don't trust him. You trust him in the playoffs?
When he was young, but right now, all I'm saying is don't let him beat Denver. Don't let Bronze beat Denver because that's Western Conference Champions Finals already. Oh, book it. We beat Denver Western Conference champions. Book it.
In all fairness to D'Angelo Russell, he was just doing the Dr. Umar agenda on Nick Young. That's what it was. He said, I'm a big fan of the Marcus Garvey School for Young Boys, and I need to let this be known early. But I digress.
I can't blame the brother.
He said what he had to say. He just couldn't say it out loud because he knew the sponsors was going to pull out. So he said, how can I help the agenda quietly?
Do you guys think this is going to be a problem moving forward, man? Maybe not. We've seen that players get dinged in the NFL already.
Yeah.
And for a year, Jontay Porter, he gets banned for life. I'm interested in whether or not you think this is going to trickle down eventually to college.
Oh, it already has. You remember the college coach for Alabama baseball, I believe it was.
You're right.
He was in there. It was some things going on there where they were alleging throwing games and giving information to bookies and all that. And by the way, I don't know if y'all saw or not, but the thing that got Jontay banned allegedly is the report said that he was giving information to the bettors. So he was giving information to whoever was setting the lines and all that. He was feeding information. Hey, this guy's hurt. Hey, this is what's going on in this game plan type of deal. So, I'll say this. Jontay's an idiot because you're $1 million man, and that's just the reality. You're $1 million brother. I wouldn't touch. I'm one of those people. I go into the casino with $5, $10. If I lose that 5 to 10, I'm 38 hot the rest of the night. You understand? I ain't gonna re-up and say, I got to go to the ATM and give me 100. But with that being said, there are too many financially vulnerable people and betting is becoming too big of a deal to not assume that the two are going to converge in a way that is absolutely hideous. I mean, we've seen this across so many leagues already, going back to I believe it was what they called them, the Chicago Black Sox way back when, all the way up to Pete Rose, all the way up to Donahue, and now we're seeing the same things kind of rearing their ugly head again. I really think that if NBA, NFL, college football wants to get in bed with betting, that's fine. But at that point, you need to get an entirely separate regulatory body to make sure that there are no Keyshawn Bouttes, to make sure that there are no Jonte Porters, to make sure that you don't have this type of thing happening. Because, Lord forbid somebody's to throw one of the biggest games of the year, then what? What do you do? Do you even have a way to get some recompense for hey, this quarterback who wasn't supposed to be the starter and he wasn't getting a good NIL deal, got approached and offered $5 million to throw this playoff game, and he did it. Well, what's the recompense for the people who bet on that game and had that quarterback play to the best of his ability? They would have made money. To me, it's just too many financially vulnerable people and not enough oversight. And so I think that we will see more of these. And for the people saying that this isn't a fair ban, I will say this. It's easy to say that when your product is not the one being messed with. Imagine any other product in the world. Imagine if somebody was at a Hawaiian Punch factory dropping something in the drinks that was making folks sick. Hawaiian Punch already thick enough to eat with a fork. Now you're making people sick with the stuff too? Oh, no, you can't have that going on there. So, it's the same thing for pretty much anything. I think that Jonte is just an unfortunate first casualty, but there will be more.
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, you're not using your brain the right way. You're worrying about the wrong things instead of getting on the court more. And the fact that you find it so boring that you got to bet on yourself to flop. I would bet on myself to score, more than that. You know what I mean? And I think once you get in a position like that, you're just not thinking, because these people are just like the insurance company. They're not trying to lose money.
Yes.
They are not trying to get scammed out of no money because they scamming themselves. So
absolutely,
they're going to have more oversight than what the actual product is for them. They said the best way to make money is to keep money, not lose it. That's why the insurance will come knock on your door tomorrow and see some funny stuff with that bill. Same thing with Vegas. They're going to be like, what? You can only win so much in Vegas before they come tap you on the shoulder, playing slots or whatever. They'll come in there and be like, hey, you need to take a walk. Go holler at something else, because you waxing us and we not trying to lose money. So FanDuel is worse than the FBI. You thought they raided Diddy's house.
Yeah. Hey, and listen, and that's why I said, man, for me personally, I know, and I know that we're about to get into this, but I know that there are plenty of guys who were super excited about betting once it started up and all that. Plenty of old teammates I played with. And all that. I said, listen, man, I ain't doing it. The podcast network that I worked with gave us a free code to get some free money and all that. You just had to put in $5 or something like that. And I did it, whatever. Whoop-de-woo-woo-woo. Once that money was gone, that was it. Once I hit or lost or withdrew, that was all I needed to see. I was done at that point. I said, all right, that's it. Because at the end of the day, it's a situation that I don't bet on nothing that I personally cannot impact or affect. And then when you really get into the nitty-gritty of it, if I can personally impact it or affect it at the ripe old age of 28, then that means that I'm getting paid or somebody's getting paid big time to do this, which means why the hell would I be betting? Why would I be doing that? No, it ain't for me.
Yeah, especially if I doubt that 2,100 he really made. He probably made a lot more from giving inside information that's not on the betting books. Because he's got to have made. Because come on, like, even if we were to do something like that in that position, we would take a nice cash value that's paying us more than what we're getting paid now.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think they reported that he won 21,000, but he definitely got paid way more for what he didn't bet with. Probably what he gave indirectly got him paid extremely more, or at least more than his NBA contract. Because I don't think he's taking a loss, and you're not gonna risk. I just don't think you're gonna risk that. I think he probably weighed his future potential earnings of his own NBA career with what this proposition was from somebody in, where is it, Toronto, probably gave him. He said, look, you're not going to make more than $10 million in your career. I give you that right now. Tell me this, this, and this, and this. And he's like, oh, for real? Oh, yeah, let me go ahead and,
So,
I was always,
go ahead.
Oh, I was always taught a sucker is born every day, and somebody's gonna wait to lick him. That's all I'm gonna say there. Because I would hope that he made more, but with some of the stuff that we've seen from some of these athletes, I've seen some things where you're just kind of left scratching your head and why would you do it?
It's gotta be an ego thing. You in the bottom of the NBA. It's like you might as well not even be in there.
And when you heard about Jordan's gambling stories, right? When you heard about a lot of those, you're like, dude, you're Michael Jordan. You were one of the first who got points on your product. Everybody else, they got a flat rate for whatever their shoe was. Every time one of your shoes sold, you got a certain amount of money. And he was still betting with everybody on everything. And this ain't to say that Porter was a Jordan, but we have seen things.
We got to talk. That Jordan money way different.
But that's my point. But that's my exact point. Jordan got money
look, that's what you like to do. Cool. Go ahead. Go crazy.
But you remember the blonde-haired security guard that hit because what was he doing? With all that money Jordan had, he was still talking about, hey man, come on, let's bet on flipping quarters. Let's bet on, I'm just saying.
I think betting's about a tax bracket. It's like, listen, if you pass $50 million, $100 million, betting is just like drinking water. We may not understand that you never go broke, but for us commoners, yeah, Jonte, you're tripping. Jordan, hey.
Let me tell you something. I don't care if I got Jonte money. I don't care if I got Jordan money. I don't care if I got the River of Jordan money. If I have an amount in my account that does not have a negative next to it, okay, I'm sitting up here protecting that thing with everything I got. What you messing around betting for, man? You in the NBA.
He ain't had $1 billion like Jordan.
Yeah. I hear you. The only thing I'm
probably thinking, honestly, he's like, man, I'm gonna die and still have billions of dollars. So I gotta just spend this like it's
KG reminds me of our ancestors that kept money around the crib in the funniest places.
Hey now, wait, money in the mattress. Money in the mattress, baby.
So I got a funny story. Truth, man, funny story, bro. So I'm at the office with my mom today. This is a true story. So my mom had some guys do work at the house last week, and they left, and she had a heater that wasn't working anymore, right? So she offered it to him because she knew like he could probably repair it, sell it, this, that, and the other, right? So it's been 5 days. She woke up and realized, oh man, I need some cash, and forgot that she was using the old heater as a stash spot. So she called the young man that did the work, and she was like, do you still have that heater? He was like, yeah. She was like, oh man, it's really sentimental to me. I forgot, can you bring it back? He didn't come back with the heater. You know what he came back to the house with?
That cash.
The envelope.
Hey now, don't play. Don't play by mama money.
True. Literally, this just happened today. And I'm like, dude, she's like, yeah, me and your dad, this just goes back to what you say, man, how it is, dude. That's why when Fanny was testifying in court, it really wasn't a big deal, dude. That's the culture. We hide what we and sometimes we hide it from ourselves when we hide it too good. But I want to ask you guys, I'm like you, KG. I'm not a betting man. I've never been a betting man. But is there really harm to placing like prop bets if you're like a fourth stringer walk on in college football? Like if you're a walk on, you're placing a prop bet.
Well, it's just
not on your game, but somebody else's game. Like, is it really that big of a crime?
It's because it's one of those things you open the door for a little bit, people go run with a mile for it.
Exactly.
And a lot of it is about leverage. It's like yeah, you may not affect the game as a fourth stringer, but as a fourth stringer, you know that the starter girlfriend been cheating on him and he just found out. Now you got this unequal advantage taking the straight under on your game because you know you in the locker room with the man. So and nobody will ever know. And
Wait,
that's
what?
that you just can't.
Watch this one. Watch this one. Left. How many D1 guys were in your graduating class? Like at your high school, how many D1 guys were in?
5.
5. Okay, I played at Cass Tech. It was I want to say it was at least 9 or 10 of us, right? Now, between us two, that means that there are at least 17 young men who know each other personally, right? Jordan Lewis, who now plays for the Cowboys. I love JD to death. That's my brother from another mother. Now, that means I could call up JD. Hey, man, I know y'all got Ohio State this week. How y'all feeling? What you thinking? What's really going on? Y'all got some injuries going on? What's happening? I could call up Mike Weber, who graduated 3 years after me from Cass Tech. Hey, Mike, man, what's going on with that quarterback y'all got over there? I heard he was kind of banged up this week. What's the word? Let me know. Because, and let me tell you why I say that. It's that slippery slope, Sean. It's that slippery slope of it starts off with thinking you a 4-stringer who's got no pull, who's got that 4-stringer happened to go to St. Thomas Aquinas. He just got off the phone with his old friend Nick Bosa, and Nick said, yeah, I'm done for the season. I got a small little abdomen thing, but I'm going to the NFL. I ain't playing no more. They the first one to get the information. They hammering over in that game. Yeah, Bosa ain't playing. Oh, they going to put up at least 20. Yeah, they going to be all right. They're going to be all right. So, you know, I get what you're saying, but I would simply say this. If I were creating the rules for gambling, who could do what, who could place bets on what, my only rule would be if it has anything to do with your sport, you are not allowed to do it. You are not allowed to gamble it. You are not allowed to bet it at any level. High school, college, NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, whatever your sport is, if you are in that, you can't bet it. Now, if you're a hockey player that want to put some on Mahomes over under, go for it, Sergey. Bet it all day. Let's see how many yards he get. If you are a football player that want to bet on hockey, hey, Lucas Raymond on the point streak, let's put something on it. I think he'll be all right, you know. But if you are betting your sport in particular, I'd say no. I'd say no because that 7 degrees of separation is way too close. And I'm even on the fence about even letting professional players bet even for sports that's not theirs, because we all know if you got money, you got connections. Money talks more than any connection do. You could be somebody's best friend for years. If somebody comes in with 50 bands, I ain't never known Sean. I ain't never talked to Left in my life. What you mean, Malik? I don't know him. You telling me you're going to give me $300,000? I don't know neither one of them. Ken, you was on the Threes Company podcast with him. You offered me $300,000, right? Forget the man that company. I need that $300,000, you know. So that's just how I go.
And that's exactly what it is. It's a leverage thing. As a company itself that's gambling, it's already slimy. They're already doing their way to have the upper hand. So any type of upper hand that the non-industry has, especially with individuals that are making these certain headways, it's like we're not going to allow that because we're already cheating ourselves. So I think that's the mindset they carry with it, is that anybody that's getting over on us, getting over on them, is going to be a problem. So I think that's why, you know, it goes into who's funding the people funding the gambling. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
They worse than they is FBI. So damn near you can't you know the Feds is 97% for a reason because they the ones doing it and knowing it. So I think it's important that laying low, man. You definitely, if you're that interested in gambling, you just got to lay low, you know, and be smart with it because they're smart and they're watching. So I think it's hard for me to be even hard on the guy that got caught. It's just like they sounded genius if you would have hit it smarter and made a movie about it, you know, that type of thing. Those are always the success stories. But naturally, you're the dummy, and any dummy is the one that goes to jail and gets caught. You're not cool. You didn't make it out. You know, no. We like the stories where the dude got away. Those are the guys that we look up to, not the dudes that got caught. So,
Hey, and right in line with that, we just put a link in the chat. It is Malik's Sports Picks Telegram channel. Yo, Left, you want to tell them about it?
Yes, absolutely. Yo, join the exclusive Sports Picks. Look, we do baseball over here. It's a long season. My guy is 8 years deep in this. He's really good at what he does. Trust me. 3 straight days now. 3 straight days of picks. So let's say you don't win on the pick. Cool. We're not going to count that. We want 3 days of you winning, and we'll go from there. So he's out of Miami. He's doing his thing. So in the NBA playoffs are out there too. We got some picks on there from earlier today. And we got
Nuggets in 5. Nuggets in 5.
He's at the gentleman's suite. They're gonna let y'all get one to be kind.
Nuggets in 5.
Listen, we got LeBron James in rare form right now. So we're not worried about that. We know Jokic is gonna do good, but Anthony Davis and LeBron's gonna cancel that out. It's gonna come down to D'Angelo Russell and what he puts out on the court.
Oh, well, we already know what that is.
What do we know about? Because D'Angelo Russell, he put them boys to bed last night. If we was looking at it,
no, he didn't have to defend anybody last night. I'm
gonna tell you. The matchup that really is going to determine this thing is, can Anthony Davis even slow down? No, because it's not about stopping him. It's not about stopping him. It's just about slowing him down. If you can slow him down, you got a shot. But if
he just showed you the game plan with Zion can get 40, and they're gonna lose.
I hear you, but I think, but that's the difference.
Night, you see how trash Brandon Ingram was.
And that, to me, that's the difference between Jokic and most of the other stars in the NBA right now. Because Jokic rolling at a high clip ain't about him getting 30. When Jokic is rolling at a high clip, that's a triple-double threat. That's a center that you're looking at easy 15 assist game if he's rolling at his highest clip. And Aaron Gordon is in that dunker spot.
So Westbrook got enough triple-doubles to give everybody in the league too.
I hear you. I'm not listen. I'm just saying, if he can slow down Jokic, the Lakers will be fine.
Slow down LeBron. Let's talk about that.
So
that's a great question.
Here's the answer. No one's gonna slow down Jokic. Let's just say no one slows down Bron, and let's just say the twos, Jamal Murray and Anthony Davis, cancel each other out. All right. Your thing is D'Angelo Russell. The Nuggets have 3 to 4 D'Angelo Russells. See, that's the point. See, that's the thing you don't realize. See, one game it could be KCP. The next game it could be Michael Porter.
We seen KCP. Hold on, whoa. We done seen KCP in LA. We not worried about no KCP.
Didn't he win a championship in LA? Wait. Didn't he win a championship in LA?
We not worried about that.
Didn't he win a championship last year? Yes. It seems like wherever he goes, he wins championships. That's all I'm saying. That's what
I was saying about. That's my point about Jokic. Because again, you look at KCP. KCP is a 3-and-D guy. That's all he is. That's all he'll ever be. And that's a good thing. That's a great. That's not
Robert Ory's a 3-and-D guy.
And that's my point. That's my point exactly. It's not about when you play the Spurs, when you played the Rockets, when you played the Lakers. It wasn't about, well, let's stop Robert Ory. It was about the playmakers that facilitate and get it to them, and the superstars. Can you make it tough on them to where they got to be volume scorers? That was how the Pistons beat Shaq and them. It wasn't about, oh yeah, you got to let them go off and stop everybody else. It was about make them volume scorers. They're going to get theirs, but they got to put up a lot of shots to get it. And that's how you end up all right. You know, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm just glad that Darvin Ham won that game and said, we ain't ducking no smoke. We ain't ducking no smoke, because I'm going to tell you, Ball Brothers we've been having a hard 2024 so far. Us the fellowhood of bald men, we've been struggling. So
I see Darvin Ham do that. We all right. I was this close to having a great Wednesday morning. A pulled hamstring in 3 minutes was all. I was that close. I was that close to the Lakers being on the brink and Steph being at the crib. Boy, I was that close, boy. Ooh, I was that close.
Ooh,
to be extremely happy, boy. But it doesn't make a difference because they got to face the Denver Nuggets. I can't wait.
Hey, listen, it was sad. That was a sad way. That was a sad way to see that Golden State dynasty end, boy. That was a sad way to see it end.
You think it's over? You think it's over? Like,
yeah, Clay's not coming back with an 0 for 10 performance like that. What are we talking about?
Their GM said that his biggest goal is to get them out of the luxury tax. You can't do that while retaining Clay. It's impossible. Unless Clay agreed to come in at the vet minimum, which, come on now, it's Clay. He, every time Clay was 0 for 9, talking about 4 rings. I got 4 up. So he's not coming in for no minimum. That ain't happening. He's not that guy.
Lucky Lefty podcast, man. WNBA draft was this week. Of course, Caitlin Clark goes #1 overall. And let me tell you something, man. I predicted that a certain team out of Chicago would get 2 certain players. I predicted it. In the Sean Davis mock draft. What did I say, Left? I said Camila Cardoso and Bayou Barbie are both coming to Chicago. Did I not? Did I not say that, Left? Did I not say that?
You
Did I not say that? I
said it on the
predicted
board.
it. You know, I told you. I said I know what their board looks like. I know
Yeah,
who they're targeting.
you knew. You definitely knew.
I knew. And what happened? Is that? And we go, baby. We get
But
the
the
2
NBA
big
don't
girls.
draft like that. They don't, the NBA.
No, they don't. They don't, man. They don't. Unfortunately, man, there's a lot of negative buzz around the WNBA draft when it should be an all-time high because people keep talking about equal pay. Equal pay when the news of Caitlin Clark's salary came out, how she could have made much more if she went back to Iowa. Then Angel Reese is making like $78,000 her rookie year. You had people in Chicago talking about this makes no sense. Fellas, what do you think, man? Is it too early for ladies and fans of the WNBA to be talking about equal pay and equal revenue when it comes to how the NBA players are paid?
You know, if things were fair, they would be paid more. However, fair is just a place where you eat food that's going to kill you and get on rides that's going to kill you even quicker.
Like
real life.
Clothes.
Exactly. They deep fry everything at the fair. They got deep fried air.
Yes,
ain't nothing that's not deep fried at the fair, but that's neither here nor there. The reality is very simple, right? The NBA subsidizes the WNBA as it exists right now. That's a factual statement. That is not, anybody who knows me, knows my personal views and opinions on many things in life, knows that I am a firm believer and a firm enjoyer of all types of competition. I covered women's sports at NC State, top to bottom. Loved it when I was working for the Technician newspaper. And I mean this from a very genuine standpoint. There will always be that group of people who are so misogynistic they can't get over themselves to just watch and enjoy a good product. There will always be those people. However, I don't think the WNBA has done a great job of catering to the casuals because that's how you grow your sport. You don't grow your sport by catering to the diehards. The diehards will be there either way. When football start making all these rules to protect people like Left, they say, hey, you don't you hit the quarterback too low. Don't you hit him too high. Don't you hit him too hard. You better put him to bed just right before you take him to the ground. You better sing him a lullaby. Hush, little Lefty, don't you cry. Before you put him down. When they came up with those rules as a defensive lineman, I was upset by it, but I understood. People enjoy what Pat Mahomes does more than they enjoy watching what Aaron Donald does. We can watch the All-22 and say, damn, that was a great job of defeating that reach block. Ooh, that gets me going. Most people don't understand that. You know what most people do understand? That one hand Odell over the shoulder reach back. That's what they want to see more of. And so transitioning that over to the WNBA, it's the same thing. They don't want to see a slower pace. They don't want to see more physicality. What do fans enjoy about the NBA? And how do you get that to the WNBA? And that's no disrespect to the player because they're becoming more talented than ever. It is being more competitive than ever. You are seeing stars with abilities to do things that we've never seen. With all due respect to the old guard, we have not seen shot creation at the level of a Caitlin Clark ever in the WNBA. And if she can do something close to that in the WNBA, what she did in college in the WNBA.
I already know who you're about to bring up, Left.
Listen, I've been a fan of the WNBA. I've been a fan of the WNBA since Bill Laimbeer was winning championships with the Detroit Shock. I've been a fan of the WNBA. You understand?
Oh, with Baby Malone up there?
Cheryl Ford, that was my girl. Let me tell you something. She did something to me now. She did something to me. I'm not going to lie to you.
She did something to you.
I'm watching the
games. To testify?
I said, hold on now. If I was a few years older, I'll be more than just watching the parade. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right now. I'll tell you that. But in all seriousness, we are seeing the game evolve in a positive way. They're moving in a positive direction, but you can't be mad at the salaries when the support objectively is not there. You cannot be mad at that. You can't be screaming and beating down the gates about, oh, Caitlin need to be making $1 million a year. Okay, where's the $1 million going to come from? Is it going to come from ad revenue? Is it going to come from the owners? Which, like we just talked about, the league was how close to folding less than before I had hair. Like, come on now. Like, this is recent. So, I think that it's cater to the casuals, learn what the casuals want, implement that in the game, whatever way you have to do it, however uncomfortable it is for the old guard, and things will grow and flourish. But if you keep it for strictly the diehards, you're going to end up like MLB. I'm telling you what I know, not what I think.
Well, after I saw what the NBA did to Ice Cube in his league, I'm like, the NBA just wants to stay on top and more relevant and make it as unequal as they can as the better product. They're chasing to be the most entertaining league over soccer and everything else, so they can't have Ice Cube jump in the mix. They can't have the WNBA, causing a distraction, in my opinion. Because I just think it goes back to Vegas and these insurance companies. They're not trying to lose money.
Yeah.
And if money is being taken away from the NBA and these ridiculous contracts that we give LeBron every year, if LeBron won't be making 60 if Caitlin's got to be having $1 million or $2 million a year. And we need LeBron to have 60 a year because we need more championships. So I think it's just more of a hierarchy thing where it's just, like you said, a subsidiary of it. So the parent company is the parent company. And when you're the parent company, you always going to want to remain the parent company, no matter how popular the children and all that get. So I do think that it's that way for a reason. And that if you're going to support that in any other way, it would have to be. I think that's why, personally, Ice Cube made that play for Caitlyn.
Mm-hmm.
Because he knew that she'll never get in WNBA, which is right. But it's just more a shot at the NBA being like, I can take one of your stars from you. Because I know she may not play in the NBA, but she plays in your subsidiary. But if she plays for me, that's money that y'all not getting in the NBA in some backdoor way. In my, this is conspiracy leak right now. But it's possible. It's definitely possible.
He said he put the tinfoil hat on and had to give it to him. I
right.
feel you. I feel it.
Right.
I get it.
Hey, KG, I saw your timeline, baby. And I'm people. I saw your timeline. I think I want to go back to my 20s because I feel that day coming. What day are we talking about? We're talking about the day where $1 million are coming, $1 million contracts are coming to the WNBA, and WNBA players are flying dudes out. I can't wait. I can't wait to see such a time as
Let me
this.
tell you something.
It's gonna be entertaining. It's gonna be entertaining, boy. Do you understand? Bayou Barbie, if she was getting $1 million in Chicago.
Let me tell you something. If Woman Wemby hit the league in the next 5 years or so, and they get to pay them, like I said,
Wait a minute. I gotta hit it. I gotta hit it for
I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't care. I don't care how much they get paid. I don't care how much they get paid. If Rakia Jackson can fly me out right now. Hey, fellas, we gotta postpone the pod. I got business to do. I've been called on assignment. I got to handle this assignment. This assignment is important for all of us. Don't ask no questions. Don't ask me no foolishness. But I'm going to go handle business for all of us. We're going to have unlimited access. Unfettered access. Okay? You want to see unfettered access, brother. We're going to have everything that darn near what the coaches got. So I'm just saying. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm just telling you. Again, I ain't gonna lie to you. Okay? Some people saying they gotta wait for him to get the $100 million contract. You see no young women like I see no young women. I ain't waiting. I ain't waiting until tomorrow for what I can get today. If they got that little sunbeam section for the fellas, count me in. Call me med school.
Count you in the number.
Call me med school because I'm right there. Call me Melanie. Call me Kelly Pitts because I'm right there. Hey, honey, you all right? You need some lemon slices? What you need? You was working hard, baby. You need a foot rub? The trainer's treating you right. What you need? What do you need? I'm going to play that cater to you by Destiny's Child when you come home because I know you've been working hard. You put up 15 and 10, baby. I said, hey, let me tell you something. Let me tell you, you was eating glass, baby. We got to get you together. We got to keep you strong and healthy. I'm just saying. I'm gonna be one of those real housewives. I'm gonna be a real house husband because them real housewives they never at home. I ain't never seen not nary one of them watch this. I'm gonna be just like them. Hey, honey, you all right? You okay? I'm here for you. I'm here for you, baby.
Fellas, I'll end it with this. when did the WNBA get any leverage? Is that how business works? Look, I don't know about you. Like, I'm a gracious person, but when I loan you money, I might not say give it back to me tomorrow, but I expect you to give it to me.
Yeah,
Did people forget that the NBA bailed the entire league? So that money, you don't think that the money needs to be recouped?
Oh yeah.
We're sitting up here talking about, oh, they need to make $1 million. No, they have to pay the NBA back first. Do that.
That's gonna take a minute.
That's gonna take a minute.
That interest.
But you know what? But you know what though? But you know what though? That is, basketball is a sport that doesn't have helmet syndrome like football. Football is the ultimate team sport, and a lot of these players, if you were to have Chris Jones walk around on the streets, a lot of people would not know who he is, and he's one of the best 10 players in the league. He's one of the best 10 players in the league, and yet, if he was just walking around like a normal person, a lot of people wouldn't know. The NBA and now the WNBA is getting into it as well. They're learning how to advertise these stars. A lot of people talked a lot of stuff about Caitlin Clark getting all this push, even though she didn't win a national championship. And I'm like, baby, this is the money game. Mm-hmm. We not playing the who won in the fairness game. And I know that it's unfair. And I'm not going to sit here and lie and downplay the racial aspect of the difference between those two teams and the difference between Caitlin and them and how things were treated. And President Biden's wife saying, hey, you know, she should be at the White House. And all. I'm not going to pretend like that doesn't exist. But when you are playing the money game, that's a part of the deal. Because guess what? It's her, and then it's Paige, and then it's Juju, and you've got all of these stars who got these big personalities.
Hold on. You ain't gonna leave Hannah out of that. You're not about to leave Hannah out.
See, I knew you was gonna say something. I knew you was gonna say something when I said Juju.
First of all, you're lucky. Olivia just been hurt. You don't forget about Olivia.
Oh, here we go.
Okay,
here we go.
Didn't you just say Paige coming off 2 ACLs? Did you just mention Paige?
Let me tell you something.
Did you not just mention Paige?
Let me ask you something. When I said we talking the money game, not the fairness game, who do you think is going to have a bigger brand in a year, Paige or Olivia? And do you think it'll even be close? Well, with all due respect to Olivia,
Hannah's going to be bigger than
Hannah
Paige.
Or Paige. That's what it is.
Hannah bigger than Paige. And here's the thing. See, now you done fell into the trap. See, you done fell into the trap. Let me tell you why. This is like a versus, right? This is like a versus, okay? Mm-hmm. And you going up against Earth, Wind, and Fire, and they just played September, and you just played your biggest hit. Now, why would you do that? Why would you play your biggest hit right behind September?
You can't play September.
Everybody remember. Do you remember the 21st of September? Everybody knows that. You can't beat that. Unless you Michael Jackson with Thriller, you can't play no biggest hit behind that. You play some riff-raff. Hannah happens to be between the sheets compared to September and Juju. That's what it is. Hannah's she's a hooper. She's a baller. She's amazing.
Juju wasn't got to that level. She ain't Juju.
But she's coming out in the same class as Juju. She's coming out in the same class as Juju.
Hannah. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. And that's my point. If she was coming out with Hannah, I 1,000% agree. If Hannah and Paige were coming out same class, Hannah would for sure be the bigger person.
Hannah be the number 2 pick. She's the number 2 pick.
But that's what I'm saying. Because Hannah is coming out with Juju, she just happens to be behind somebody that has a bigger personality, has a bigger star power factor, and she's in LA. With all due respect to South Bend ain't LA. It's just not.
I can testify to that. It definitely ain't.
But we as Notre Dame girls basketball has turned up South Bend like it's been LA.
But you are let's talk about it because you actually went to a school.
Come on now.
You actually went to a school where it doesn't happen a lot, but you actually went to a school where the women's program is bigger than the men's program.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, listen, anybody who knows me knows I could tell you more about college volleyball than most people right now. I could tell you who the stars are in college volleyball. That's how plugged in. I love women's sport. I love watching people compete, period. And I'm telling you, from a brand standpoint, Juju has the advantage. It's not a knock against Hannah. In any other year, Hannah would have that number 1. Say what?
Juju got the AT&T commercial. She balling. She got.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And
She wearing her hairstyle and everything.
it's not a disrespect. It's like saying Lamar to Mahomes. I'm a Lamar guy. Love me some Lamar. I firmly believe he's going to win the Ravens a Super Bowl one day. He's just not Mahomes. It's the same thing for
Well, he
these
ain't
guys.
as marketable as Mahomes.
That's my point. See? Do you see what I'm saying?
They're not going for that. He ain't going for being the most marketable.
You guys, man,
And here's the thing. Hannah can go for the most marketable, but Juju just has that it factor. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's her style of play. I don't know if it's like her personality. But, you saw her on the podcast, P podcast. It just felt like you're looking at a star in the making. You're looking at this girl has superstar written all over. Hannah, with all due respect, again, on the court, superstar talent, no offense or buts about it. In the interview, she's good. She's good. I'm not going to say that she gets up there. I don't know. She's good, but she's not Juju. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And no disrespect to her. Again, if she was 1 year younger, maybe I could see it. If she was 2 years older, I don't know. But, she is where she is.
Hey, you guys have convinced me. You're absolutely 100% right. It's like comparing the bad boy Pistons or LeBron James to Michael Jordan. You're absolutely right.
Oh, here we go.
Absolutely right.
Here we go.
Absolutely right.
Here we
I
go.
agree. There's levels to this. You're
Here
right.
we go.
You explained that quite well. You
Lord
explained that
have
quite
mercy.
well. Lucky left. Don't call on the Lord for mercy. Don't call on him for mercy. Don't do that. Don't do that.
He said don't blaspheme on this wonderful
No.
Wednesday night.
Don't
Don't
call
do
on
it.
him for
Don't do it.
mercy. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, 2 more topics left before we get out of here. Let's go down to South Florida and see what Double R has to say.
Hey, white boy, BBL Drizzy, I got a question. I saw you posted you got more money than Ricky Rose. And let's assume you did. Well, your best friend, Birdman, his house went into foreclosure 5 years ago. You done watched that man struggle them 5 years and ain't get that man a mansion? Because if you got more money than Rose, what's another 50 million, white boy? White boy, it's one for 40 on Indian Creek. It's one for 50 on Star Island. You got 48 hours, white boy. If you got Ricky Rose money, ain't none of my niggas winning foreclosure. Come on, white boy. I'm finna bust a bottle. White boy, don't do stunner like that. Come on, man. What happened to that? 48 hours. The countdown has begun. And that old ass jet you got, they gave it to you free. That's a 1978. Be safe on that, Drizzy. Be safe on that plane. That old motherfucker. God, it's great.
God, it's
First of all, we apologize for the language of Rick Ross and certain things he said. I did not have the opportunity to edit like I normally do, fellas. I apologize if anyone's offended. I apologize, but this beef is going on a week or a couple of weeks now when Drake dropped his song last week. No, that was just this past weekend. It feels like a week. It's literally been days. And Rick Ross has been relentless, bro. He's been relentless. He went to the club. He asked the DJ to play a song. He said, "Who wrote this?"
Can I just say something? Everybody talk about J. Cole was look soft for apologizing and all that. He said they finna start calling out people with white mamas. I'm gonna get out of here. But they pull up a picture of my mama. She looked like her credit score real healthy. I'm gonna get out of here. My mama looked like she put raisins in potato salad. I'm good.
Hey, you saw Drake's mom text him like, "Hey, wait a minute. Rick Ross is in this now? Right. Hey, wait, Ross is in this now? Are we gonna be okay, son?"
Yeah.
Well, I'm already having PTSD from Pusha T years ago.
I'm gonna tell you now. Drake need to keep it to the rappers because you got 2020 beef with these rappers, right? 2020 beef, social media. They're going to get on social media. They're going to talk about you. Rick Ross, Tia Kemp is the mother of his child. She get on social media and talk about you. Rick get on social media and talk about you. Them two soulmates. Rick need to go ahead and marry that woman. That's your woman, Rick. That's your problem. That's why you can't keep a woman now because you need her. You need her back. But now, Rick Ross, he going to take the social media. Kendrick, he gonna keep it with the bars. ASAP, he gonna keep it with the bars. The Weeknd, he gonna sing to you real nice and smooth about how you ain't about nothing. Leave Ja Morant out of this. Ja Morant is looking to up pole. He waiting to up that thing.
Yeah.
That fire was calling his name when he said Ja Morant. T. Morant had to strap that boy down like they were about to perform an exorcism. He said the power of gun control compels you because he was finna up that thing. He said, I got AK-47s, Max, and 9s at the crib. I'm finna let them all loose. But, this beef is entertaining, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is a good time. But keep it in the studio, Ross. I want to see all y'all. Get in the studio. Drake, stop telling your mama to call these boys racist. That make you look crazy enough. He already calling you white boy. Now you got your mama calling people racist. You look crazy. Get in the studio. Kendrick, we waiting on you. Get in the studio. Metro, he says, shut up and make some drums. I wouldn't take that if I was you. I wouldn't take that.
The man sent the drum majors to the strip club in Atlanta.
And let me tell you something,
Drake. That was petty, Drake.
If I was Metro, I'd have 20 of the best beats ever served up and dropping them off to all your ops. I'm on the phone with Pusha T. King Push. Brother, how you doing? I got 5 beats for you. Come on. We got something for you. Common, I heard you up there in Chicago getting pretty cold, brother. Heat up this booth for me. I got some beats for you. I know what you like. Because I'm just saying, this beef is entertaining. And it's not over yet. And I'm going to tell you, Drake better stop it with the Michael Jackson bars because that's going to start a requiem for all the men in hip-hop. And they just don't realize it yet. They don't realize it yet, but it's going to be a requiem for all of them. For Drake, for Rick Ross, for all of them. Everybody who said something or done something that's like, Olivia Benson and Detective Stabler may be at your home pretty soon. There's going to be a requiem. A lot of people are going to be looking around. Why are you telling people about that? That was way back. Again, if I was Drake, I'd just avoid them Michael Jackson bars and call them Prince and all that. I'd avoid it. That's just me. And I'm going to shut up after that.
Left with your boy.
Look, I just think Rick Ross is the king of trolling, and I don't know. Drake got to come out with another diss. I don't know what angle he going to start with because he's still worrying about Kendrick. J. Cole done dropped out the fight. Rick Ross talking crazy. But Rick Ross is right. Rick Ross is like, he came from an era where you had to respond quick. He said, it's taking too long. I'm getting bored. So he understands what beef
But
feels
you're talking
like.
about Rick Ross went to the studio literally an hour.
After
the drop.
and dropped some fire, too. It was pretty good.
Again, you can't. I'm going to just tell you. You call me BBL and white boy. We might have to take it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I start turning into that the Drake that was on tour talking about no matter what, nobody can mess with me. I'll turn back into that guy.
Yeah,
his mansion's broke. He looks broke. Everything about him's broke. Hey, why you ain't help out Birdman? Birdman's a grown man. Leave me alone. Rick Ross is poor. Everybody. He's poor. Those wing stops are keeping him afloat. Big back Buffalo. That's what's going on here.
I'm scared to play the other Ross clip. Let me see. What's the other Ross clip?
No. I know why Drake don't do what I do when I talk and he don't talk. He'll take a picture and post because he got ghostwriters for his fucking captions. Listen to me. He got people sitting around. What's Rick going to do next? Let's go. Come up with it. Come on. BBL Drizzy, just pick your phone up and talk to the people. You okay? We know you may be shallow. We know, but everything fine. Everything's gonna be okay. It's therapeutic.
Wait a minute, pick the shade. Not therapeutic. Steroids.
It'll clean your soul. That's why he said therapeutic. It'll get you clean. It'll get you clean and sterilized. It'll sterilize your soul to let it out. I'm gonna tell you. If I was Drake, I would have got on live immediately. I would have hopped on live immediately.
Yeah, Drake got to respond to that.
But I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. The ghostwriter allegations.
Oh man!
Listen, brother.
Yeah,
that's tough to beat. He said you got ghostwriters chained up writing your IG captions, brother. Again, I ain't taking it. Me personally. I ain't taking it.
Can't take it. Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah,
but again, I really do hope this stays a 2020 rap beef because I don't want nobody perishing from this thing. I enjoy the good trolling. I enjoy some good jokes. I enjoy some good bars. I hope Kendrick get in the booth, drop some good bars. I hope everybody get in the booth, drop some good music. I love some good music out of this type of stuff. You know, I'm not gonna lie and say I'm a perfect and good guy. Every time I hear about some of my favorite artists going through heartbreak, I'm like, ooh, we gonna get that old Chance the Rapper back. Him and his old lady apart. I'm not saying dabble in the acid again, Chance. I'm not saying go no benders, but give us that old rap back. You know what I mean? Give us that old cigarettes on cigarettes. My mama think I stank. Give me that.
You probably gonna get the pack a day, a little shroom.
Yeah,
Rapper back. You will.
Yeah, you know, I'm just saying. When I hear that these guys is going through something, you know, when I heard Frank Ocean was going through something, I said, oh, he finna drop some. He finna Frank Ocean when he's sad, he get in a different bag. He get a different mode, you know. Yeah. So I need these rappers again. Keep it off the streets. I don't want to hear about nobody dying. I don't want to see no RIPing and all that because these are amazing artists. I'm a big proponent of. It's beautiful to watch these artists grow old. Is it not beautiful to watch Juvenile get a tiny desk? Is it not beautiful to see Juvenile just out here in the streets living and moving and grooving? Because so many rappers from that time gone. So many of the greats from that early 2000s, late 90s era gone. So it's beautiful to see him grow old, but get y'all behinds in the booth.
I was so thankful. I'm still thankful I was in the streets when that Juvie dropped.
Yep.
That was one of the best, man. That Juvie joint was one of the best assists for any dude in the club.
That thing,
that's the best alley. It was the best alley-oop, boy.
Watch this. At
that point, they didn't even care who walked up behind. They didn't even care.
Watch this, Sean. How old are you? How old are you?
I'm about to turn 50.
Okay, about to turn 50.
Yeah.
Malik, how old are you?
29.
I'm 28, about to turn 29 this year. All of us can relate. When you hear them strings,
yes.
When you hear them strings, think about how much staying power that is.
Yes, sir.
We talking about 3 different generations, because technically speaking, depending on who you ask, Malik and I are the oldest of Gen Z. Yeah. Sean is Gen X. Yeah. That's millennial, Gen X, Gen Z. We all know when you hear them strings, whatever you got going on.
Let me tell you, the most influential club banger in your time. The biggest alley-oop in the club during your time was.
It's tough. It depends on what area you're talking about.
Hey, Chris Brown, yo.
See, and that's why I say it's tough because it depends on what area you talk about. And also that show you Malik was a lover boy. I wasn't into that. Hey, turn on that Soldier Boy. She got a dunk. I ain't doing no boo loving at the dance. That ain't what we here for. Okay. Also, middle school was a sick time because why they have us in them dances in our uniforms? That was crazy. What were we doing? You out here catching the twerk and some slacks and a polo t-shirt. What was life about? But, you know, I'm just saying. If you're talking middle school, it might have been might have been she got a dog, might have been. But when we got to that high school, it was either Booty Be Down or Cash Money taking over from the 99 to the 2000, that was classics. Undefeated right there, boy. Undefeated.
But yeah, that Juvie boy, wants the string, like you said. And that Mystical, that Shake It Fast.
See, that's a little too old for us. Hey,
that's a song, though.
It's a good song. It's a good song. But by the time we were in the clubs for real, when you played that, it was about 1:30. It was finna turn the lights on, and you looking around like I ain't got nothing to leave with her. I guess that shorty at the end of the bar ain't that big.
That's right.
I guess her teeth ain't that far apart. Come on.
That's right.
Let's make this thing happen. That wasn't me, of course. I'm just saying for example.
So the staying power joints are like P Dub said, Doodoo Brown, staying power. Hot in Here.
Oh yeah, Hot in Here
still gets it hot.
Yeah.
Man, you hear that bad fella. See that at a wedding reception? It's going up.
Good times.
Man,
for sure.
It's good times. I don't know what right now. Man, I'm not in the club right now. I would definitely have to ask my baby girl.
Hey, listen. Just understand that your baby girls is adults. Don't. You know, some dudes wouldn't eat for 3 days. Some dudes wouldn't eat for 3 days. Their daughter tell them, "Oh yeah, that is the songs we be throwing." Next thing you know, you lose about 10 pounds coming on the show. This is the Threes Company podcast. We're gonna let Left lead it for the day. I've been going through some things.
Well, all the music now is all new. It's a new song every week. So it's hard.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The TikTokification of music is, you know, I'm gonna just tell you though. I don't know why Meg would record a 4-hour twerking video like that on her page. I just don't understand it. You know,
I understand that. What's all that about?
Yeah. I mean, my phone messed around and died. I had to charge it, plug it back in, make sure I saw the whole thing. You know, I just because for research purposes, I need to see. You know,
mess around and died.
Mess around and died over it. It messed around and died. You know, you know. Listen, she should have made it 4 hours. You know, most people they make it 30-second little video or whatever. You know, that's her fault. That's her fault. That ain't mine. You know. Hey, listen. And if I got an answer for this at the pearly gates, all I'm gonna say is, God, you made her like that. You made me like this. What you think? You thought it wasn't gonna go off the rails, brother? I love you with all my heart, but you thought it wasn't gonna go there in my fault. You know.
So I'm gonna set this up for you, KG. You in the place to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's All-Star Weekend.
Oh, All-Star Weekend.
NBA All-Star Weekend. You walk in the spot, and you standing there, and you look over. And you see Rakia, and all of a sudden you hear the strings from Juvie starting. What you doing? What you doing, KG?
I'm gonna just tell you. Okay. Let me put on my catcher's glove and mitt. Let me go ahead and put on my goalie equipment because I'm catching. If she's throwing it, I'm catching. I ain't making no second thoughts about it. I ain't making. Call me what you want, but don't call me for fronts because I got business to handle. Let me take it back to SHAUN Day. What the Osley brothers say? I got work to do. Okay, I got a job, baby. I got work to do. Okay, I'm just being honest with you. You know, 6'2" and thicker than Florida in the middle of July. I got work to do. I ain't gonna lie to you. Okay, that's just what it is. You know.
Oh man, Lucky Podcast, John Massey. Thank you for the super chat. Three's Company. I'm sorry, y'all see Lupe.
I was about to say you're from Chicago. Talking about Lupe. Oh Lord,
it's getting late.
They finna put the Evanston allegations on you. They finna say he from Lincoln Park. He ain't from this way for real. They
really
finna put them allegations.
Not the Evanston allegations. Like, yo, this dude ain't from Chicago, man.
Not from Chicago.
He ain't from Chicago. Y'all seen Lupe Fiasco jumping in. How would you rank Drake, Ross, Lupe, Cole, Kendrick? Club song was Juice Box by Gorilla Zoe. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
John was out here moving different. John was out. I'm gonna tell you something. I know what you are, John. I know what you are. Juice Box by Gorilla Zoe. I know exactly what you are, John. I know where you were, brother. But I'll tell you this much.
Hey, no. Before you do that, you know another underrated, especially if you go to the South, another underrated joint that got it going. Juvie had 2 of them. Cause that slow motion.
Oh yeah.
I like it like that. She working that back. I don't know how to act. Lord have mercy. Lord, listen. See,
Juvie had 2 of them.
He had 2 of them.
Yeah,
he did. And I'll tell you what, I think that's a very interesting group to rank. And it depends on how you ranking them for that Drake, Ross, Lupe, Cole, Kendrick. Because that's a group right there. That's a group right there of, you know, for me, it depends on what you like. But I grew up.
What you like for sure.
I grew up. Lupe was my guy, man. I mean, Revenge of the Nerds. You had the Food and Liquor. You had it was so many from Lupe that that was always.
A lot of people don't understand that the bootleg Food and Liquor was totally different than the actual album release.
Oh yeah.
So it was like only the streets in Chicago had it for like half a summer before it dropped.
Listen, and thank God Detroit was close enough.
Yeah.
Thank God Detroit was close enough because I'm gonna tell you that 1st and 15th went crazy, boy. I'll tell you. So If I had to rank them in terms of who gets the most burn with me, it would probably be Lupe. It would probably be Lupe, Kendrick, Drake, and Ross and Cole are interchangeable because I never really, that's probably the hardest part about being in Central North Carolina. Everybody's like a huge Cole fan, and I just be, yeah, it's so good. It's so lyrical. I love it. I'm not gonna lie and act like Cole don't got no hits because Folding Clothes is beautiful. That's a beautiful song right there, and it expresses a part of love that we don't talk about enough. That everybody expects love to be this like super passionate and you doing all this flying out the country, and of course we like to talk about our physical expression of love and all the different ways we play the horizontal hula hoop or 10 toes to Jesus, whatever you like to call it, but that simple act of me and my old lady are doing this mundane task together and I feel an intense love for her while we do this, that's something beautiful. And the ability to express that on wax, that's another beautiful thing. So I don't want nobody saying I'm a Cole hater. Cole got some cuts I like, but in terms of who I listen to the most, Lupe was my guy, man. Lupe was my guy for sure.
For me, it was Kendrick, Drake, Cole, and then I love Lupe, but I don't know, he ain't dropped enough like the other three.
Chicago hater, it's cool. Chicago hater, bro. That's all right.
Hey, he from Ohio. He gonna say Bow Wow was better than all of them. Let me hold you. He's still doing that to this day.
He's still trying to prop up Bone Thugs and Harmony, bro.
Hey, listen. We love you, but when he called himself Prince of the Old Town, I knew right then he wasn't right in the head because Ohio is a state. What do you mean of the Old Town, brother? That's a state. You can't. It's all right though. It's all right. We love Bow Wow too. We love him. He's just not in this group.
All your favorites is from Ohio. That's all.
Listen, I give you
Ohio R&B.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hey, listen, I give y'all the Osley brothers. They got it. But let me tell you something.
Roger Zapp. Oh, hey.
Let me tell you something about a blind man by the name of Stephen Morris. Okay, that man was blind. Talking about isn't she lovely? Didn't he know what she looked like? Talking about she lovely. That's how you know he was getting into it. That's how you know. Talk about some writing nasty letters on the wall. What were you writing? How did you know what you were writing, Stephen? Let me know. But it was still beautiful, wasn't it? Very superstitious writing on that wall. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Anita Baker, you can't beat Anita, baby. You can't beat Anita, okay? When they told me her and Babyface was beefing, I said, I don't know who did what. Babyface, fix it. Go apologize to Miss Baker right now.
That's right.
I don't know what happened. Go apologize to her. You can't beat that. You can't beat it. I'm just saying, Aaliyah, gone too soon. But you saw how all three of us got to moving when Rock the Boat came on. You saw it. And listen, me and Sean some hefty fellas. That boat for sure would get the rocket. Now, as the kids say, furniture would get the moving around there. You know what I mean? Left, don't worry. When you get a couple years older and eat a little bit more, you're going to catch up with it. I'm just saying.
Once you get to that mountain of about 36, 37.
Yeah. I was a defensive tackle, so I was always big. But left was probably the point guard. He was probably the quarterback, running back, receiver. He was that guy. Don't worry though. You're gonna be up here with us in a minute. That's right. I'm just saying.
Oh man, like Three's company. So let's get ready to get out of here, gentlemen. NIL tomorrow. There's a meeting to ratify a new rule that allows institutions to take part in working with athletes to solidify NIL dues. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is the NCAA just continuing to throw a tantrum in the NIL landscape? Man.
Let me tell you something.
It was happening anyway, so I guess you might as well legalize it.
It's something that needed to happen. Mm-hmm. It's something that needed to happen, okay? And let me tell you why. I don't know if y'all have been keeping track of everything that's been going on around the country, but I know of firsthand at least four different stories where athletes were promised money by collectives that was never received. All four of those players ended up transferring out to other programs. Now, here's my thing about this. if we could have a department in the school that is specifically and solely responsible, hey, what are our NIL coffers looking like? So that there's no confusion, there's no mix-up with whoever the other parties are. I'm gonna tell you something right now. If my son, my daughter were involved in a situation where they were promised monies that was not given to them, oh, I'm turning over everything. I'm turning over them tables like Jesus when he walked in the temple and they was gambling in there. I'm turning it over. I'm telling everybody who will listen. Yeah, Ken Gibbs Jr., the number 3 defensive tackle, number 1 defensive tackle in the nation. Yeah, that's my boy. Yeah, Bama told us that they was dropping off $500,000 on
You
my son.
snitching?
That's what that. Let me tell you something. Call me Tekashi 6ix9ine. I come color wig and all because I'm telling on everybody. I'm telling on everybody. They sat up there and told us that they was going to have X amount of money, and they did not come close. This was slimy. This was nasty. This was sickening. And the worst part about it is people don't even realize how this derails these young men and women's lives because, and I'm going to talk about one that I know for a fact. There was a quarterback at Florida who was allegedly not paid what he was promised. And his father went out and told everybody and their mama, hey, he didn't get paid and da-da-da. Do you know how difficult that then makes it for that young man to go to the next place? Instead of y'all being honest from the jump saying, hey, this is what we can give you, this is what we can't.
Right.
We're not promising you nothing they can't. And him having the choice and the autonomy to say, you know what? No, I don't want this. I'm going to go somewhere else. I think these NIL rules need to be tightened up from all sides. And I think that one of the things that I've seen proposed a lot that I would like is for football to move to a singularity that's separate from the NCAA, with all due respect. Because the NCAA, the rest of y'all ain't rocking like football is rocking, with all due respect.
No.
With all due, all this realignment stuff, this ain't about basketball. Because if it was, Kansas wouldn't be in the Big 12 no more. They would be in the SEC or the Big 10 based on that basketball program. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What your basketball team does not matter. What matters is, does your football team draw eyes? And the reality is, when they're making this much money, there needs to be somebody who can separately say, hey, this is what we got, this is what we don't, so that we don't have situations like what we're seeing in some of these schools where players are liking tweets talking about the school that they're leaving not having enough NIL and lying the players are moving shifty. So I'm here for it. The NCAA is normally very reactive, and even in this situation, I think they're being reactive. But hell, get it cleaned up somehow, because I don't like it at all. I don't like the Caden Proctor situation. I don't like it. What Penny Boone, who left Toledo to go to Louisville, who's now leaving Louisville without ever playing a snap there, if what he's alleging is true about Louisville and all that, I don't like it at all. I don't like it from either side.
You know what? I guess I can see both sides of it. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. I can see both sides of KG. Because you want liberty and you want things to get to the point where these young men can go out and make money off their name and off their efforts on the field.
Right.
And the pay-for-play thing, I mean, the value is the value. If you're a big-time quarterback coming out of high school, you have tremendous value. It just is, it is what it is. And those that want it can get it. Those that don't want it and choose to work for it, man, tip of the cap to you, young man, young lady, whatever sport you're going into. But at the end of the day, the NCAA, in terms of football, continues to throw a tantrum and just basically continues to say, man, what do you want us to do? It's not our fault. It is your fault.
Absolutely.
You definitely share blame and where things stand in this situation. And instead of being part of the solution, you just want to go ahead and throw your hands up, throw a tantrum, and say, man, see what we said? You're fighting against a federal law here.
Yeah.
It's over. It's over. Stop wasting taxpayers' money going before Congress. Stop begging politicians to return things back to the way they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And face it like a man. Face it like an adult. And just get with the program. It's okay. the people that still believe, well, they get enough with a degree, they'll get over it too. They'll get over it too.
Yeah. If you want your team to win, you will.
Yeah. They'll get over it too. They will.
Yeah, just a fine line of just what recruiting is, man. I mean, people been getting lied to recruiting since day one. Now that money's getting involved, I don't think it changes the perspective of what recruiting is. You're selling a product, and sometimes the money come through, sometimes it don't.
Don't you play like that, Malik. Don't you play like that. Don't listen. I'm gonna tell you, right? It's a few noobs in the comments right now. Yo to the good brothers at Kappa Alpha Psi, okay? I love my Crimson and Cream.
First of all, relax, man. Y'all, there's too many canes twirling in the chat right now.
Hey, it ain't enough. It ain't enough of them twirling in the chat. It ain't enough of them. It ain't enough of them. We need some more of these bad babies. It ain't enough things. It ain't. We could never have too many canes in here. Don't you ever disrespect us like that. Don't you ever, okay? Anytime you don't see them up on the wall, they right in my hand. They right next to me. But let me tell you something. I love my KSI. My KSI love me. The bond love me. My brothers, they've been through with me through everything.
Hey, if we can become the official podcast, sports podcast of KSI, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Let me tell you something, okay? I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. They need us to do a couple ad reads. You know what? Let me talk to Brother Burrell and them. We ain't gonna go there right now. But let me tell you something. I love the bond loves me. But when I was going into the bond, there was an amount that I had to pay, right? There was an amount that they said, Kenton, you have to pay this amount if you are going to be a member of Kappa Alpha Psi, okay? It ain't about well, you lied to them or you did or did not pay. Did the check clear that said Kenton Gibbs payable to the Kappa Psi chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi? That's what mattered. When you tell players, I'm going to give you playing time or you're going to be number one on the depth chart or I'm going to give you number 1, number 2, number 0, number 35, whatever your favorite number is, I'll give it to you. That's one thing. But when you tell a young man or young woman, I got 20 bands for you, oh no. Let me tell you something. I'm from the west side of Detroit. You can lie about a few things and get away with it. But when you talking about zeros and commas, you lie to somebody about some zeros and some commas, I can tell you right now, not to reference the bond too much, but you'll be saying hi to Diggs in them in no time. You'll be saying hi to our founders real quick because you're going to be, that's just what the reality is. You can't play about people's money. That's life-changing. That's the difference between my mother. When you talk about the amount of money and where some of these kids are coming from, that is an entire year's salary for some of these kids' parents. That's an entire house where some of these kids grew up at. You don't play with people's money. If you promise a young man or a young woman an amount and you lie about it, I can say for me personally, I have grown and I am in a better place now to where I wouldn't do anything crazy behind it. But there are many people who would do what the kids call crash out. They will crash out behind that 100K. They will crash out behind that 50K. And I'm not saying that they're right. I'm saying I would understand it because you don't play with nobody money like that, especially when you could have told that young man, we got 30K to give you, take it or leave it, and they could have went somewhere that paid them 40 or taken your 30 to be at your school. But instead you tell them we got 50, they get there and get 30, and then all of a sudden the money get funny? No, you got to honor that. Whatever the money's is agreed to, money on the grain make the game go smooth. Money out of sight, start fights. I still live by that to this day.
Man, I'm right there with you on that side. And to all the bros, man, just joking. Don't take it personally. But if I had to choose, if I had one, because I'm not my brother, I'm not a Greek. I thought about it. I thought about it down in Champagne. I thought about it.
It's never too late.
Contemplated. Don't put it on my mind like that.
Never too late. I'm just saying.
This goes to what I was about to say. If I could just have one stroll around a party, it would come down to 2 organizations. It would definitely come down to 2 organizations. It would be a tough one. First of all, it's a family issue with me.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is an extreme family issue with me.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I understand.
The other one, you know what I'm saying? The family issue would be like, yo, I'm constantly surrounded by barking and gold boots. Constantly.
I understand.
Every time I go to a family function, that's all, man. Barking, gold boots, hoofs.
Yeah,
They
play Atomic Dog. They play Atomic Dog at every cookout.
All the time. Now, let me tell you something, man. My style, I'm gonna keep it funky. My style, I talk to my daughter. My daughter's a Delta. She said, Daddy, all the time she asked me, Daddy, if you had pledged, what do you think you would have done? And I said, baby girl, you know what the family is. She said, yeah. I said, yeah, but I just, I think I just really, just one time, I feel like I just need to be able to slide my hand across my head. I just need to do it one time as I stroll around. I just need to do it.
I hear you.
So if
I hear you talking. Oh no, proceed. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? I'm here for you.
Yeah.
I'm here for you. We here for you. We here for you. We here for you.
we got dogs in the house now, boy.
I'm telling. Hey, listen. Let me tell you something. Okay?
Like everyone makes mistakes.
Exactly. The men in your family, they still great men. They still great men. I'm just saying. Hey, listen. I'm just. We talked about rap beef earlier. What did Aubrey say? I'm just saying you could do better. That's all I'm saying. You look at the men in your family, you gotta let them know.
Hey man, let me tell you something. Atomic Dog is one thing. But it's like every time I hear regulators, I'll be like, ooh.
I hear you.
I always think about Step Show 1994. I have to admit, boy, y'all man, that U of I chapter.
Listen,
is that the beta chapter?
Beta,
Alpha,
yes, sir.
Yeah, that's beta
Alpha,
chapter. Yeah.
Alpha is Indiana, and Beta is Illinois.
Beta is Illinois.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And the beta chapter showed out.
Hey,
that regulators, boy.
Let me tell you something, okay? Let me tell you something. Like I said, one of the Deltas just crossed. It was her mom. It was the grandma, the mom, and the daughter all on the same line. Grad time. I'm just it's never too late, Sean. Never too late. I'm just saying I can put in a word for you. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later.
Would you do that for me? You would do that?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, sir. Listen, like Travis Scott said, pick up the phone, baby. I know you're home, baby.
You got me on Three's company making life decisions.
Hey, listen. I don't force nobody into it. I don't recruit nobody into it. All I'm saying is this, okay? If it's in your heart, it's in your heart, and I'm here to facilitate it. I'm here to help out. That's all I'm saying. You see, Lefty, he done left us alone. He said, I can't do none of this. I always wanted to be a stigma when I grew up. I always wanted to do them crazy legs when I grew up.
I don't even think the family, the Divine Nine, are even accessible where Left went to school.
Oh, that's true.
I think they have to drive up to Chicago chapter.
That's true. Lord have mercy. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. We got App State now.
App State? Okay, App.
All right, hey, listen, that's MEP too. That's my province.
Let me ask you a question before we get out of here. I just wanted to ask this.
Go for it.
Is it a difference? No, because I know no matter where, your frat is your frat.
Yeah.
But I was always told, it's like most of my family that did pledge Omega Psi Phi pledged in the South. And all of them say it's just different pledging. All of them say is different pledging in the South. And I'm like,
so,
man.
I will tell you this, right? Being a Detroiter, I got former teammates from Cass Tech that are noobs. They crossed at schools up there in Michigan and all that. A few from Rho Delta, a few from different chapters up there in the a few from different chapters. CMU chapter
one of my best friends, man. He crossed KA side up at University of Michigan. So yeah.
And I'll tell you this: every chapter is slightly different, but when you get to talking about provinces, you see the variance grow a little bit more. But there are certain things that being a member is being a member is being a member. We're a non-hazing organization, of course, so the MTA membership intake training and all that stuff and whatnot. It's pretty standard across the board, but different regions do different things, and I've heard that some of the West Coast guys are a little different, but again, they're still my dear brothers in the bond. So it does differ from region to region, but it's not anything to where it's like, oh man, like y'all don't have anything in common with the way that y'all got down and all that. And I'll leave it at that because again, the Membership Training Academy, also known as MTA, is MTA, and that's it.
Yeah, one of my good friends, he did it at Beta Chapter, and I was the designated driver for the entire line. Let's just say that.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
That's an interesting.
At the end of it, I felt like, I feel like I deserve it. I was the one getting the phone call every other night. Bro.
I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna just say this. That's a very interesting dynamic. And if I was you, I'll put in a call to some of them brothers. I'll put in a call to some of them brothers right now. I'm not saying y'all owe me some leather, but y'all owe me a little something. You know what I mean? A little something. Give me a call. Give me a call. That's all I would say on that matter. That's all I would say.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's this episode of Three's Company. As always, man, follow us at Lucky Lefty Podcast, Lucky Lefty Pod, Twitter, X. We are located at CFB Nation Audio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube channel, Lucky Lefty Podcast. Also, the Patreon. Three's Company will be exclusive to the Patreon /Lucky Lefty Network starting in May. Next week, DJ Jay Illa, official DJ for the Chicago Bears. I'm gonna ask him a grade. You've been to a game lately? What's the DJ like up at Ford Field, bro?
I'm not gonna lie to you and say I've been to a game lately, man. The Lions got bougie on me. Them tickets, like I said, back in the day when I was coming up, you could get them tickets with a Burton McDonald's meal. Did you know that the Lions had the most expensive playoff ticket out of every team in the division?
Even higher than the 49ers?
I kid you not. It was higher than the 49ers.
Well, that was the man. I can understand that. The man.
Them tickets.
Yeah.
Them tickets were so high. I said, you know what? I might want to go home for Thanksgiving. Let me look up the Thanksgiving ticket. Them tickets were so high. I said, what is going on? Y'all ain't never moved like this before. Y'all start winning a little bit and y'all get bougie on me like this.
Yeah.
I was here through Kyle Vanden Bosch being one of your best players. I was here for that.
He was on the squad.
I was there watching Dante Culpepper in a Lions uniform. And this is how y'all treat me? Kevin Smith, Eddie Drummond. I was there through it all, baby.
Oh, Eddie Drummond. Ooh.
Eddie Drummond, the return specialist. I was there through it all. And this is how y'all do me. But it is what it is. It's all right. I'm going to get back to a Lions game one day. I promise you. At some point in time in 2022, everything going to get back rolling right. And I'm going to get me to a Lions game one of these days.
Hey, man. Appreciate everybody for locking in with us, man. We'll see you tomorrow, Lucky Lefty. We'll preview the blue and gold game scrimmage coming up. We'll talk about Holden Staves throwing a little shade all the way from Knoxville. We'll get to that. And some other things leading into the blue and gold game. And then we'll share some new recruiting news and look at some film, some new receivers possibly in 25 class. But left, the two mics, that dude can give TGIF underscore. Can go follow that dude right now. Make sure you continue to sow to his life. The link is on his Twitter and Instagram feeds. Continue to sow into his life, ladies and gentlemen. Matter of fact, I'll put the link in the thread after the show. We greatly appreciate you. As always, continue to dig deep and always know for your life that still yet to come. Have a good evening.